Today's podcast is all about getting creative with private practice marketing. Now, I could go on in social media or digital media or all different kinds of platforms. And I thought about that and getting ready for this week's podcast. I made myself some notes and man, I was just going down a rabbit hole because once you start getting into that, it's like, where do I stop? Right? Like, I guess for me, attracting new business to my business has never been a problem. I hope for you that's not a problem either, but I know that's not always the case depending on where you are in the country. I know people really struggle with filling up the schedule and having look, you need to have 12 to 15% of your weekly visits as new patients. Okay. So there's a TPS right there. There's a metric right there that you should know. You absolutely should know you need 12 to 15% of all your weekly visits to be evals, to be new patients, because that's the way you're going to sustain that caseload, that level of caseload. And that's how it's actually going to grow over time. If you can't maintain that number of new business coming in, you're going to fall behind and it's just going to be slow emergency, like a downward trending graph, which we call emergency when we track our statistics in this area. So I don't want anybody going to emergency. I want you being normal and just powering through and be a powerhouse in private practice. So to do that, we need to know what statistics to measure and how to measure them. So there's the first one I wanted to share with you. So track that one, write that one down. It's human nature to want to help others, and it's human nature to want to receive the help. And it's human nature to appreciate the value that others bring when they're doing that help. So be that person. Be that good, wholehearted soul person. Be that person who's going to do it without asking anything in return. You're not asking for anything. You're just trying to give of yourself. I found that to be extremely successful in building my practice and building our reputation and building our brand. And I wasn't even trying. I was just trying to be a good guy. I was just trying to help the people who lived up and down the street from us. So please don't give that up. Don't let anything scare you away from those things. Those are very, very important things. Participate in your local chapter. Next, you know what? When you get to meet other business owners and stuff, ask them if you can write a blog for them. Ask them if you can write something relevant they could put on their website. Ask them if it's something they can push out to their email list and you're just going to contribute as a writer to their business. Like maybe it's the running shoe store down the street, or maybe it's, the athletic gear or the bike shop, and you're going to talk about ergonomics and stuff like that. And they're going to love you for that. And then say, hey man, can we add some backlinks to that post, to that blog, to that vlog, to that article? Can we put in some backlinks on your website or however that's put out there? And then that'll tie it back and send more traffic to your site, right? Because the SEO is so important. So here's our digital media tip for you guys is write blogs, write articles, get on their website, and then get backlinks connected to it so it goes back to your website. Now, if you don't know what that is, I went ahead and copied and pasted a little definition off the web on it, and I'm just going to read it to you. I'm not smart enough to, be able to have this off the top of my head, so I'm going to use my Google resources and provide you with this definition. Backlinks are also known as inbound links or incoming links. These links are links that are used from one website page to another website page. Google and other major search engines consider backlinks votes for a specific page. Pages with a higher number of backlinks tend to have higher organic search engine rankings. So this is a super simple, super easy way to increase and raise yourself up the SEO list in organic searches, is do this charitable, helpful, beneficial writing of blogs and articles that go out in other people's media outlets and to their, database, so on. And then you backlink it back to your site. So as they're reading that article, it's actually, adding votes to your site. So I think I've made my point. Creative marketing ideas. That's this, getting with the creative marketing ideas for private practice. Well, here's creative. Why not do something nobody else is doing up and down the street? And that is reaching out to your patients for 15 minutes once a month or once every other month and progressing them and advising them, guiding them, sending them an article, emailing them a tip sheet or something, right? Make this part of the fact that you have this following of patients that you want forever to be always thinking of you first if anything were to come up. And more importantly than that, that they're recommending all their friends, family members, coworkers, peers, and talking you up to their medical professionals. That's 5 terminals I just listed to you that your patients have connections with that you should be tapping into through your patients. But if you're not willing to talk to them about it, you're not willing to ask for them to think about you when they're talking to others, they won't. They just won't. They got other things on their mind. It's a busy world, right? It's 2021. People are swamped. Let's switch to another marketing idea. So those were pretty patient-based, and then I gave you a digital social media-based, right? Let's talk about internal marketing strategy. Let's talk about staff-based. Let's turn our attention. I want you to turn around. Let's look at our clinic. Let's look at the people that are working for you. And let's do something called the leaderboard game, right? Maybe you could put something out there called the leaderboard game. If they're doing well with their patients, they're getting good results, they're putting objective measures in front of them, right? The goal is to improve and impress the patient's experience in the clinic. If that's done, the patient will want to help others. And one of the first steps of that is self-acknowledgement, self-validation for their hard work so that they are getting the positive reinforcement from you, stimulated by you as a therapist, for themselves in terms of their good behavior and the hard work they've put into therapy so far. And they do that by writing a success story. Not a testimonial, but a success story. Like, hey, today you were able to really reach up and touch your hair and work it, and you said you're now washing your hair. You couldn't do that 3 weeks ago. We've shown by the goniometer, you're now 30 degrees more in terms of abduction and 55 degrees higher in terms of flexion. These are huge wins. I would love it if you, and I just give you the iPad, just go ahead, just quickly talk into it and write into it. Here's the pen. How are you feeling? How is life different today? What are you succeeding at now as a result of the therapy care we started 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago? Speak right as though you're speaking to somebody who's just standing here in front of you, who's unaware of what you've just gone through, and just share with them how that's been. Because I would love to share that with your doctor, and I'd love to have that posted here for other patients to see, because I guarantee there's another patient with a shoulder injury just like yours looking for an effective physical therapist who could help them get the same outcomes you've gotten. So your little bit of communication here, your bit of sharing this success to those at home and those that you meet is in essence you being like the doctor of physical therapy like me, because you're connecting them to the help, to the source that they need.